Right now in Bremerton, some homes are just stuck. Price cuts, 60 plus days on the market, frustrated sellers. But at the same time, other homes are selling in a weekend with multiple offers. Hi, I'm Cassandra Lopez. I've been living, working, buying and selling real estate in Kitsap County for the last 26 years. And in this video, I'm breaking down the 6 types of homes in Bremerton and Kitsap County that are struggling to sell, and 5 types of homes that are still pretty hot. So whether you're buying or selling, you can stop guessing and actually use this market split to your advantage. But before we get into these categories, I want to walk you through one metric that explains kind of what we're seeing in the market right now. And it's called months of inventory, also supply. So you take the number of active listings right now on the market, which is hovering around 700, and you divide that by how many homes are selling per month on average over the last 12 months. And that gives you a number, and that number tells you who's got the advantage, buyers or sellers. Now here's why this matters in Bremerton and Kitsap County right now. Kitsap County is sitting at about 3.4 months of inventory. So it's kind of right around that almost a seller's market phase, but it's not behaving like a seller's market in any sense. Interest rates are high, buyer demand is low, consumer confidence is low, and that kind of just leads to a really slow, sluggish market where buyers definitely have control and sellers are having to offer more of those concessions, make more of those pricing drops to get their homes sold at all. But within that 3.4 months of inventory, there's neighborhoods that have 6 months of inventory, and there's neighborhoods that have less than a month of inventory. So wherever you're living in Bremerton right now, or wherever you're looking, real estate is hyper-local. So from neighborhood to neighborhood, that metric could completely change. So all that to say, this isn't a good market versus bad market story. This is timing strategy and using the leverage that you do have to get the home that you want or to sell your home in a way that works for you. The homes in the right neighborhoods at the right price, still selling pretty quickly. The wrong neighborhood at the wrong price, you're gonna be sitting for a while with limited buyer demand. Understanding where either your home or your target purchase is within these categories is what this video is all about. So let's get into it. Category number 6, this is any home that is ill-prepared and not marketed correctly. Now, part of that is pricing because there is a buyer for every house. So as long as the home is priced well, then you are going to attract a buyer, maybe not for the price that you want, but if you're not willing to prepare your home to get the price you want, then you're going to get the price that a buyer is willing to pay. And that's the whole definition of fair market value. But if your home is ill-prepared, if the yard is overgrown, if the carpets haven't been cleaned in 5 years, these are things that a buyer is really going to pick up on, and you're not going to get the price that you want. You're going to have longer days on market. You're going to have you're going to get frustrated if this is a home you're trying to sell and it's perceived to be overpriced by the buyer market. Category number 5 that we're seeing struggling is a luxury market property, over $1 million. So in Kitsap County, anything over $1 million is considered a luxury property, whether it's waterfront or on acreage or has a view or just a really premium piece of property with a really, really nice home on it. When buyers are looking at these type of properties, it's not anything wrong with the property. It's just a math problem. So if you are not paying cash and you are taking out a loan, well, now we have to figure out what kind of down payment you need to stay out of that jumbo loan territory. Jumbo loan rates may not be the best option right now. We need to kind of talk about, would a 5-year ARM work better for you to make that payment affordable, knowing that you're going to have to refi in 5 years before that payment skyrockets again. So there's a lot of things to factor in when you're purchasing a luxury property. Of course, the higher you go in purchase price, the smaller the buyer pool gets. And so when you have a luxury property, you just have to be aware that your buyer pool is minimized. And so buyer demand may be restricted. And that makes it even more important to price it right. So just like any other segment of the market, in practice, this looks like extended days on market, maybe a price reduction or two before we get an offer. And sellers just need to be really realistic about the value of their home today versus what it might have been in 2020 or 21 at the peak of the market. Market prep for these luxury homes is not optional, so everything needs to be done to a T. Professional photography, 3D Matterport, virtual video tours, staging, pre-inspections, like everything needs to be done to the nut. Buyers are very discerning for these types of properties, so every detail matters. On the buy side, you might have a little bit more negotiating room depending on the property, but depending on the days on market. And in some cases, sellers might be willing to contribute to like a rate buy down or some sort of concessions to help it make it affordable for you to get into that home. Category number 4 that's struggling is that move up range between like 5 and like 800,000. So this is going to be like your second or third home. Maybe you're moving up from a home that you've outgrown, or you just want a different neighborhood or a different style of home. They want to upsize, maybe the space isn't right, or their family situation, or their family dynamic has changed. But then they start running the numbers on homes priced in that 5 to 800 range, and they're like, wow, my payment is gonna like double or triple. I cannot afford that, right? So that's a real issue that people are facing right now, even if they have equity in their current home that they can roll over into their new home. That hesitation is compressing activity from both directions. So now we have sellers who don't want to sell. And additionally, with those mid-6 interest rates, you have buyers who don't want to buy. So it kind of puts a stalemate on the market a little bit. Currently, homes are averaging about 40 days on market, which is like 25 days higher than it was just a few years ago. And in that 5 to 700 range, where homes get less and less affordable, those days can get longer and longer. If you are a home seller in this price range, pricing strategy is everything. That's the first thing you should consider. And then all of your market prep and pre-list prep should come after that to support that price. Homes priced too high, even just 5% above market value, are sitting for a long time. Buyers are very savvy right now. They know what they can afford, and even just a few percentage points is going to put them over their budget. So pricing just below market value is going to give the buyer a increased perceived value. They're going to get more home for their money. Their dollar is going to go farther for that house, and you're going to be more likely to procure the buyer that you want for the price that you want. If you're a buyer in this price range and you have equity to roll over, you can use that to buy down some points possibly. You have room to negotiate with the seller if they have these homes that are longer days on market, so that you can make it affordable for you. Now, every buyer and every seller and every home is different. And navigating the Bremerton and Kitsap County market requires understanding your specific price point and the neighborhood you want to be in, not just the county-wide numbers, because remember, real estate's hyper-local. If you're thinking about moving in or around Bremerton or Kitsap County, I put together this free relocation guide just for you. It covers neighborhoods, commutes, and the trade-offs that most people don't realize until after they've moved and it's too late. So hop into the description and download that now. It maps out exactly what I'm covering today with neighborhood by neighborhood clarity, so you can figure out where you fit before you commit. Now let's look at the next challenge. Struggling category number 3 is existing resale homes competing with new construction. Right now, new construction is about 14% of our active inventory. Median price point for those new constructions is about $650,000, mid-sixes. And you're always going to pay a premium for new construction. So that's something just to understand right up front. We have builders like Richmond American, Garrett Custom Homes, and LGI with active communities right now. On the lower end, some of them are under 500. When a builder has a product to offer that is brand new construction, nice and shiny, all the fix-in, maybe appliance package, maybe a landscape package, a builder warranty, peace of mind for those big systems like roofing and heating and cooling that you know are going to last and be maintenance free for a really long time. And they can offer these crazy incentives for rate buy downs because they often own the financing company as well. So they can do all kinds of in-house financing. That is a real draw and a harsh competitor to these resale homes that are maybe hovering around that 15-year-old mark that are gently used, but still not a brand new house. The resale seller who doesn't understand this is going to be fighting a battle they're not prepared for. Here's the trade-off as a home buyer that you need to understand about new construction. Conversely, resale neighborhoods are done building. There's no construction. They have these tall, beautiful, mature landscape trees and shrubs, and they're just established, unlike brand new construction neighborhoods. So wherever the comps fall for your resale home, you need to realize that when you do go on the market, new construction that happens to be in that same price range is going to be a direct competitor. And it's a really hard decision for a buyer to make when they have this brand new shiny object right in front of them And then there's a resale home that's still great quality and still a great value, but they're willing to spend a little bit more to get a new construction home with all these bells and whistles, which means that you as a resale homeowner need to compensate for that in pricing, because we can't offer a buyer $35,000 in concessions like these builders can. So we need to make up for it somewhere else. Struggling category number 2 are going to be condo units, are going to be condo developments with high HOAs. And this is going to vary association by association and building by building, because every condo has a different board and budget, and every condo is managed differently. So these need to be factored in on a case-by-case basis. So if you're considering a condo, you need to understand that every single condo association comes with an HOA, and you're going to have monthly dues, which are also called assessments, that are going to be due and payable every month in addition to your mortgage. So when you're getting pre-approved for your loan, your lender actually has to take the payment into account and factor that into your monthly payment to make sure you still qualify. So dollars for dollars, buyers are saying like, well, I could get like a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo for $350 and my dues every month are $600, or I could get like this 3-bed, 2-bath, 2,000 square foot house for $500. So they're kind of weighing their options, right? You can get more house for the same money because there are lower dues or no dues. But whereas a condo, you're buying into the communities. If you're looking to buy a condo, part of your purchase is you should have an opportunity to review what's called a resale certificate. The resale certificate is going to provide all the financials, the budget, the minutes, the reserves. For home buyers looking in this segment of property, there are deals to be had. There's condos available all over the county, in all different kinds of neighborhoods and all different styles of condos as well, in lots of different price points. The deciding factor, though, is going to be how well the budget and association is managed and what the monthly dues are going towards, and if that's a benefit for you. Category 1 for struggling homes right now is any home in any neighborhood, any style that is overpriced. There's a little axiom in our industry that goes, there's no amount of marketing that's going to sell an overpriced listing. Pricing is key, no matter what home style you have, the location, the features. There's a buyer for every home, but it's got to be at the right price, because at the end of the day, your home is only worth what a buyer is willing to pay for it. So Kitsap County had a really robust spring market this year, and we're still feeling the fallout from all of that. And by that, I mean our inventory increased by about 50% in about 4 weeks. So right when you were putting your home on the market, so was everybody else, which means that buyers have a ton to choose from all of a sudden. It means that sellers are going to have to compensate for pricing, because as supply goes up, pricing goes down, and demand is still kind of buffered with the high interest rates. So we're not seeing a flood of buyers into the market right now. So what does that mean for you as a home seller? You should expect longer days on market. You should expect at least one price reduction before it sells, unless you're pricing it well under market to begin with. So because there's buffered buyer demand because of the rates, and because there's so much to choose from right now, buyers definitely have control of the market, and they're just kind of watching and waiting. They're not in a rush. They're weighing out all of their options, making sure they make the best decision for them. And the interesting twist right now on home pricing is that all of the sold data could support your list price. It could support a price of like, say, $550. But if 20 other homes, just like your home, came on the market in the last 2 weeks and they're all priced at $525, there's no way you're going to sell yours at $550 now. Now we have to be where the rest of the competition is to remain competitive and marketable. So if your home is on the market right now and it's not moving, it's likely a pricing issue. There is a buyer for every home, but your home is only worth what a buyer is willing to pay for it. Now for the good news, let's talk about what's still moving. These can still be really competitive. Single family homes under 500 are averaging about 20 days on market, which isn't terrible. And oftentimes they'll go pending with multiple offers, maybe with 0 concessions, maybe slightly over list price. And here's why this segment of the market is holding strong. The Bremerton area has a foundation of home buyers thanks to the U.S. Navy, Puget Sound Naval Shipyard, and all of the civil service that is surrounding that. Those demographics generate a really large demand and a really consistent turnover of buyer and seller activity in our area. And many of them are using their VA benefits, which offers a better rate than other loan products. So they can get into a loan, they can get into a home at a better rate and at an affordable payment because the home price is lower. And because that demographic is so cyclical, rates really don't affect that particular market as much as they would other segments of the market, because PCS orders are PCS orders. They have to come and they have to go. So they're doing that regardless of what the market is doing. On top of that, many of these affordable places you're going to find are in really close proximity to the Seattle ferry. So people who are working in Seattle have realized that they can buy a home here for super affordable and walk or ride their bike to the ferry and commute that way. That cuts their cost of living in half in most cases. If you are a buyer in this price range, you need to be ready to go. You need to have your pre-approval in hand. You need to have your neighborhood narrowed down, your criteria for your home narrowed down, so that when the home that matches your criteria comes on the market, you can move on it quickly. Hot category number 4 are single family homes in Central Kitsap. Central Kitsap is one of the most competitive pockets in Kitsap County right now. Data shows homes going pending on an average of 7 days for an average of 2% over list price, which is pretty good metrics considering the market. Even from 6 months ago, when average home prices were like high 500s and they were sitting on the market for 30-ish days, that time frame is almost cut in half. Why does this area hold up? For a few reasons. Silverdale is the commercial core of Kitsap County, so it's got all of the things. It's got the only mall in Kitsap County, Kitsap Mall, and it has the completely renovated state-of-the-art St. Michael Medical Center. Central Kitsap is located right between the two main Navy bases, Naval Base Kitsap Bremerton and Naval Base Kitsap Bangor. There's also Naval Base Kitsap Keyport, which is a little bit to the east, but it's all in that general central locations. If you're stationed at one or the other, you're at a nice central location to have a commute to either. Central Kitsap has a really fantastic school district. People with school-age kiddos obviously tend to prioritize school districts when they're finding a new place to live. For home buyers, you may need to find yourself moving a little bit quicker in this location. You may need to make a decision faster than you're comfortable with. So it's important to be prepared, be willing to make a decision quickly if the right home in the right neighborhood pops up. Now, whether you're a buyer looking for an opportunity in one of these struggling segments, or you're a seller trying to take advantage of one of these hot segments, it's important to understand that every market's unique and every buyer and seller is unique and every house is unique. So if you're thinking about making a move in the next couple of weeks or months, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. We will schedule a strategy session to find out the best opportunities and neighborhoods and strategies for your situation. Hot category number 3 are turnkey homes near Naval Base Kitsap, Bremerton. So this is down in West Bremerton, downtown Bremerton, maybe even over in Minette. And the reason this location is still turning really fast is because people can walk or ride their bike to work if they're stationed at Naval Base Kitsap, Bremerton. Nearly 1/3 of Kitsap County homebuyers are using their VA loan to purchase a home, which is twice the state average. This market has a military buyer base that is unlike almost any other in the entire state. And the military buyers with PCS orders don't really have the luxury of waiting for rates to come down. They need to purchase something kind of now. It would be to your benefit to use an agent that moves fast and communicates clearly. For sellers, a turnkey home within a reasonable distance to the base, this is going to be your best buyer pool right now. Is you're probably going to get a buyer who is going to be stationed there. So if the buyer is PCSing here and they're buying sight unseen, it would be to your best interest as a seller to present that home with as little maintenance as possible. All the repairs are done, it's been pre-inspected, and it's presented really well so that buyer can just move right in and not have to worry about anything. If you are a home buyer, your VA loan is one of the strongest tools in your toolkit. No down payment, competitive rates, no PMI. In a market where your monthly payment matters more than ever, this can be a real advantage. Hot category number 2 is Poulsbo area and North Kitsap single family homes. Demand is still really intense in Poulsbo. People just love it for the charm and the location that downtown Poulsbo has to offer. The median sales price in Poulsbo in May of 2025 was around $669, with 84% of homes selling in 30 days or less, and 36% sold over list price. A year later, here in early 2026, average home values in Poulsbo are 672, so slightly increased. And homes here are going pending around 8 days on market on average. For buyers in this area, Poulsbo and North Kitsap reward decisiveness. Hot category number 1 is any home priced to sell in this area. And it doesn't matter what neighborhood, doesn't matter what city in Kitsap County, if a home is priced to sell, it's going to sell. So Kitsap County overall is sitting at about 3.4 months of inventory. Buyers definitely have control of the market right now. This isn't a market crash. This is leaning more towards a balanced market. In a balanced or normalized market, pricing is going to be key across the board. If you are a home buyer in this market, there could be multiple offers depending on the right home and the right location. I actually just helped a buyer secure a home. We were third of 3 offers, and the terms that we presented were the best ones for the seller, so they took our offer. If you're a home seller, the number 1 question should not be, what can I list for? It should be, what does the data say that supports the price that a buyer might pay for my home? Knowing which situation you're in will help you decide how to prepare and market and effectively price your home. I will tell you the truth about what buying and selling feels like in this market right now, so you can move with confidence. That's what I'm here for. Neighborhood by neighborhood, property by property, the trade-offs in this market are real and they're specific. Some sellers leave money on the table, some buyers overpay. You don't have to be either one. Watch the next video to understand how to navigate the Bremerton market on your terms.